I am Dr. Charles Apoki. So many things are happening at the same time in Nigeria. For the first time in my life, I'm seeing people carrying Russian flags during this and bad governance protest. For the first time in my life, I'm seeing northern citizens protesting against their clergymen, against their politicians. Things are really hard. I never knew that hunger can be such a motivating force. We are in a fix. How do we get out of this fix? Let me state up front that the number of people in the streets protesting are an infinitesimal proportion of those who are suffering, those who are angry, and those who are dissatisfied with the Tinubu administration. Even the soldiers in the streets, if they go back home to the barracks where they live, you can't believe that an oil-rich country like this will keep their soldiers in such squalor, or the policemen, their barracks. You can't believe that Nigerian policemen live in such places. So, excuse me, there are a lot of people angry, but they are not saying anything. They're just waiting for events to unfold. That's the way the Nigerian attitude has been, and that's why we're in this mess. The next thing is that for me, I've experienced several military rules from the time of Gowon till the Obasanjo that handed over power. I experienced a lot. The worst civilian administration is better than the best military rule because we are not going to bring people from outer space to wear military uniform to rule us. And you can't protest, you can't remove some of them. So what are we going to do? I sympathize with Tinubu in the sense that I have several vehicles that I use for business to carry my school children. And I have several drivers. Some drivers will be driving the vehicle and there will be a fault that is brewing. They will just be managing it. I don't know what is wrong with them. I don't know what. It's not your money. When I used to manage, I said, it's not your money. It's not your vehicle. It's not your time. It's my vehicle. I will spend the money. But they are used to the mentality of management. And that's how sometimes they drove their own vehicles and destroyed them. Maybe the day he is not at work, they will not tell another driver to go and handle that vehicle. That driver is not used to the faults in that vehicle and the vehicle will break down in his hand. When the story is told, they will say it is him that spoiled that vehicle. The other one says, I've been driving it well. Right from time immemorial, Nigeria has been mismanaged by our leadership. They have been very insincere to the followership. They were worse than the colonial masters we drove away. But because we have a docile people who are manipulated by religion, ethnicity, regionalism, and there was oil money, there was enough to steal. There was enough to steal. The people didn't care. And because we had a way of creating a common enemy and a common slogan to keep Nigeria one is a task that must be done. We used that during the Civil War. After that, we looked for another slogan. After that one, Operation Feed the Nation. After that one, Health for All by the year 2000. After that one, Structural Adjustment Program. All moved to Abuja. We had things that kept one segment happy and kept all of us in a deluded stupor. Then it's like there was a married woman in one community that committed adultery with 7 men in a very small community. 7 men. She committed adultery with 7 men. When one man goes, he will go and tell his mates the story. The other one will come, commit, and go. And the husband was a very huge man. I'm telling you a real life story. She slept with 7 men in a small village. Different men. And each one that goes will go and tell the other story. That's how they have been treating Nigeria. Obasanjo came in, he was president. After some time, I think he went to prison, came back, became president. What did Obasanjo really achieve in the first instance that is making him to become president? Murtala Mohammed was president when I was 20 something years old, 24, 25 in medical school, final year. Obasanjo came back. Buhari came back when I was 60 something years old. Buhari had been governor of Gongola State, no longer in existence, minister for petroleum, enjoyed so much privileges, was head of state. Why did he come back? I told my wife that Buhari should have stayed in his house, enjoyed his life with his children and grandchildren, and those his 200 cows that do family planning. Because they are always 200. He sells, I know, I'm just being crazy. That those is 200 cows that do family planning. And left with a clean reputation. I don't think it was nationalism that brought Buhari into power. I think it is a Fulanization idea, an Islamic extremism idea that made him contest election again. Because he set us back more than 40 years. And then when President Tinubu saw this adulterous nation that several men had gone to sleep with and came back to tell their stories, very strategically arranged Buhari to first go and test. And then when he saw Buhari tested, it was okay. He now came with his own and replicated what Buhari did. Buhari surrounded himself with his nephews, his cronies, he's just his people, chief of army staff, chief of this, chief of that. Tinubu came, started the same process, military, police, immigration was putting his people. And we in the South, we are not complaining because it is our people that are there. But it is the same formula. And then carry these gangsters from Lagos surround himself. Do you remember somebody with white beards that was climbing over a fence in the Senate? Climbing over a fence. Climbed over a fence, a jumped fence. A senator, or was he House of Reps then? Jumped over the fence. Rascals to protest something. Surrounded himself with his people. It's only Fashola that didn't come back, and Ambody, just that we are not around him. Surrounded himself with his cronies and the cronies of his friends. And the Emilo Korn statement is a very apt statement. All of you have been going to commit adultery with this woman whose relatives or husband's people are very docile. It is my turn to commit the adultery. And so he did all he could do with the support of his tribesmen, evil people, religious people, and he is there. He did not know that woman they have been going to commit adultery with was going to have a fractured leg in the process, or a dislocated hip, or a prolapse. And so he inherited a very, very bad state. But it is not enough to inherit a bad state. Number one, he was too ambitious, too proud, too strong-headed, and he believed that he was too smart. We don't know his classmates in primary school. We don't know his classmates in secondary school. We don't know his real names, and we don't have his identity. He could outsmart every person, but he could not outsmart reality. He should have stayed with the bullion vans, the businesses in Lagos State that bring taxes and all that, and all the Southwest, and remain there and be comfortable. But Emilo Korn, it is my time. Meanwhile, the children who have been suffering the continuous adulterous relationships with their nation have grown to become adults. And they said, no longer adultery with our mother. That is why. And then their mother is sick. Their mother can't cook. There is hunger. And the man who is currently committing adultery with their mother, Nigeria, must suffer for it. That's why this protest. That's why this anger. If there was enough money, enough food, and that's why they treat your complaints with rice, with palliatives, with student loans. You go to the school, they give you the loan. How will you pay back? Where will you work? Which factories will you work? We had several factories and businesses running when we left university. You chose where to work. I had 10 hospitals ready to take me. I had to choose. So now, where do we go from here? You can't do regime change. It's not advisable. You can't be like Bangladesh. Tinubu would prefer to die in that office than to run away because he is surrounded by evil people, family people who want the ambition of president's wife, president's son, president's daughter, yellow day, and all kinds of selfish hawks. And then there are owls who are occupying positions. Their aggrandizement, they are having orgasm of theft and power. And those who support them So where do we go from here? I had a dental issue, and I think I had an extraction, and I was having pain. And my granddaughter told me, say, Daddy, bear it. Daddy, bear it. That's how I bore my own when they remove my own. Bear it. Hmm? Daddy, bear it. Hmm? Sorry, Daddy, bear it. She thinks her mother is her sister, that I'm the father of two of them. So, Daddy, bear it. Nigeria, bear it. Tinubu is not going to resign. Tinubu is not going to be overthrown. We will bear Tinubu till 2000, till 2027. We are going to bear Tinubu till 2027. The judiciary, the police, the army, custom, professors who rigged elections, NYSC members who rigged elections, all of us, we are going to bear Tinubu till 2027. Una never see anything, according to Paul, the comedian. Una never hear anything. Una just start. I'm not making mockery of you, but that is the reality. So hopefully by the grace of God, 2027, pain will have taught you wisdom. And then we will reset this country. We will say, never again would we do the same mistakes that we did by rejecting somebody who had mental capacity, who had interest in the country, who had the will to bring change to this country. That is the only thing that will benefit from this pain. The blessings of pain are the lessons you learn. If you don't learn the lessons from pain, you will repeat the pain like as you repeat a class. Can't you see in Bangladesh, they call for Muhammad Yunus, the founder of the Grameen Bank, a social entrepreneur, a Nobel Prize winner who has an interest in the people and the welfare of the people, to come and head their interim government. One dull soldier, one stupid soldier can just come and take over this government. Let's manage Tinubu till 2027. It will not appeal to you, but it remains the fact. I'm running a seminar on sustainable development in life, ministry, career, and business on the 13th and on the 14th of September. It's usually a wonderful time. We have all kinds of people from all over the world, doctors, lawyers, military men, senior police officers from different countries. Join us. It's usually 2 days, 13th, 14th, the last day's question and answers. Send a message to me on +234 7052 136763. God bless you. Tinubu na our pepper soup when we cook. We go drink it, we go dey pepper us. Tisi oburo gore, we go sneeze, we go dey drink am. Kata come off our nose, we go drink am. Tears come out, we go drink am. We see bone, we go remove the bone, eat the flesh, then drink water. God bless you.